Hi, my name is Sylvie. I am a certified health coach and fitness trainer. I help women look great and feel great through fasting and exercise. In today's video, I want to talk about how you can use intermittent fasting to lose belly fat. But before we get into those steps, I want to talk about what is belly fat and also, can you spot target belly fat? So when people talk about belly fat, it can get a little bit confusing because sometimes the words visceral fat and belly fat are used interchangeably, but visceral fat is actually not visible, and it is brown fat that wraps your internal organs. So it is possible for you to have too much visceral fat but not know it. So when we talk about belly fat, what we actually mean is subcutaneous fat. That is the fat that you can grab and hold that gives you the muffin top, and it is also called white fat. And there's a couple of ways that intermittent fasting can help you lose belly fat. Obviously, if you want to lose belly fat, you are going to have to lose fat all over your body. But it is true that fat cells in different areas of your body are more receptive or less receptive to fatty acids. And fat cells in your belly as well as in your hips tend to be more receptive, so they tend to hold on to fatty acids quicker and keep them longer than, say, fat cells in your face or your arms or your breast. And when you practice intermittent fasting, there is a metabolic switch over that will help you lose fat. It happens in three main ways. Number one, fasting reduces your insulin level, and insulin is your main fat storing hormone. Every time you eat, your body produces insulin. So obviously, it goes without saying that fasting will help stabilize your insulin levels. Also, you'll notice that the more you eat, the more you want to eat, because if you do not give your body a break from food, and your body always has to produce insulin, then your cells will start needing more insulin to function properly. And then what happens is that you may feel hungry even if you're not hungry. That's what we call cravings. A lot of people struggle with cravings. I get a lot of emails from readers who tell me that their main struggle is food cravings. Well, there's hope for you. Fasting will definitely help with that. Another thing that happens when you fast is that it increases your human growth hormone production. And human growth hormone, as you may know, naturally decreases with aging. And it's a hormone that helps keep you young, and also a lack of growth hormone is linked to obesity. And also something somewhat interesting that I wanted to mention is how fasting helps reorganize your fat cells. I watched a video from Thomas DeLauer, and I'll include the link to that video in the blog post. If you want all the information and all the links, I have a blog post and I'll link it in the description. But so in this video, Thomas DeLauer was talking about a study done on mice and published in Nature Communications that found that fasting helps your body use your visceral fat more efficiently. So basically, it changes your subcutaneous fat and it transforms it into visceral fat. And this may seem like a bad thing, like he was explaining, because we know that visceral fat is tied to obesity and metabolic disease. But I mean, any fat is bad. So not necessarily just visceral fat. And visceral fat is actually easier and faster for your body to use. And so what he's explaining is that when you fast, your body will transform your subcutaneous fat into visceral fat, and then your body can release it. So I thought that was worth mentioning. Now, let's get to these tips I promised to help you take advantage of the power of intermittent fasting to lose belly fat. The number one thing I recommend is to start with a modified fast. Fasting mimicking, or what I call modified fasting, is extremely powerful to lose belly fat quickly. The first time I went on a modified fast, you could tell that I had lost belly fat. It was absolutely visible, as you can see on this picture. And even though I regained the few pounds I lost during the 5-day fast fairly quickly, the belly fat didn't come back. And I thought that was very impressive. And it's not just my experience, because Dr. Walter Longo researched that, and that's what he found. He found that his fasting mimicking diet helped reduce belly fat. So that's awesome news for you. If you want to lose your belly fat quickly, definitely go on a modified fast. You need to pick the right intermittent fasting method for you. Sometimes people try intermittent fasting, they think it's not working for them, and they don't realize that there are many ways to practice intermittent fasting, and you need to find the right method for you. And there's sure to be a method that will work for you. I have a whole blog post and video on that topic. I will link it in the description. You can check it out to help guide you as far as how to experiment and find the right method for you. But there are just a couple of things I want to mention here that, for example, when you pick your eating window, make sure that it ends at least 1 hour before bedtime, if at all possible. It is much better to not go to bed with a full stomach. So make sure you stop eating at least 1 hour before bed. Also, longer fasts are preferable if you want to experience the metabolic switchover and if you want your body to start using fat for energy and produce ketones. You need to fast longer, and you may find that the 16 8-hour window, which is so common, is not enough for you. The best window for me tends to be the 24 window, so I fast for 20 hours and eat for 4 hours. But then again, you will have to see what works for you. Number 3 is to lose weight. As I talked about already, you can't just lose belly fat and not the rest of your body fat. Like, you really need to lose any extra weight that you may have. And intermittent fasting is a great way to lose weight, not just in your belly, but everywhere, and reach that weight loss goal that you may have been trying to achieve and struggling to achieve. I actually wrote another blog post this week called "How Long Does It Take to Lose 20 Pounds?" And you may find it really helpful to figure out how much weight you can use and how long it's going to take you. I have some great tips in that blog post, and I'll link this one in the description as well. Number 4, reduce sugar. We talked about insulin and how it causes your body to store fat. And sugar really increases the production of insulin. It's kind of obvious, and most of us eat way too much sugar. Really, you should eat no more than a tablespoon of sugar a day. And I think that most of us are accustomed to eating way more than that. That may seem like a bit of a crazy goal, but maybe if you're just starting, just start with avoiding energy drinks and juices and pop or whatever. At least avoid drinking sugar. That would be a good starting point. Number 5, reduce stress to balance cortisol. So cortisol is very helpful. It does many good things in your body, but too much of it can also cause your body to store fat. Try to de-stress every day. Make sure you meditate, that you relax, that you take care of yourself. And also try to keep a positive mindset. Do what you can to reduce the amount of stress in your life. Number 6, sleep well. Make sure that you get 7 to 8 hours of sleep each day, and make it good quality sleep. There's a few ways you can achieve that. Avoid blue lights at least 1 hour before bed. Avoid scrolling social media before bed. Avoid caffeine after 2 p.m. And also, why don't you try a cherry concentrate. If you struggle with staying asleep, you may find it helpful because it helps your body produce natural melatonin. And that's something I found really helpful. Number 7, limit alcohol consumption. Your body will use alcohol for energy because whenever you drink, you won't be storing the energy that's coming from the alcohol. Your body doesn't store that. It will just be using that. As you're drinking, it keeps using this. So obviously you are not using fat cells. You're not even using glucose, which may end up being stored in your body and cause you to gain more fat because you're just using the alcohol as a source of energy. Drinking wine in moderation actually has been shown to improve your metabolic health. But again, it's all a matter of using common sense and drinking moderately. I have another video and blog post about finding great keto wines. If you're interested, I'll link that in the description as well. Number 8, nourish your body appropriately. It's important to make sure that you eat enough nutrition for your body to function optimally. With intermittent fasting, most likely you're reducing the number of calories you're consuming, you're not eating as frequently, so make it count. Nourish your body when you're eating. Don't just fill up on junk food. I like to break my fast with the power shake and also a large big salad. So at least when you're like ravenous sometimes at first, you are filling up on these nutrient-dense foods. So that's it. That's all I had to say about how you can use intermittent fasting to lose that belly fat. I hope you found these tips useful. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And let me know if there are any other topics that you would like to hear me talk about. I will be posting much more frequently over the next 3 months or so. So suggestions and ideas are welcome. And thank you for watching.